Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I am joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic today, Jared.
Yes.
How about you, buddy?
I'm not doing too bad. Just, I want to throw out the apologies to everybody who's looking for a show on Friday. Get a little busy. If you look at the background here, a little bit different. If you're looking at us on YouTube, moved into a new place, so it's been a little busy, a little hectic here. But making time for you guys now to record a podcast and talk a little bit of baseball. So asked the Twitter space for some questions, and we were rewarded with about 20 questions or so. We're going to answer all of them over the course of probably this week or so. We're just going to break it down, talk some Angels baseball with y'all. And then we have a special podcast in the works for opening day. I'm not going to say anything about that. Very special podcast in the works. I said, I'm excited, but let's get this show rolling here. Let's start with the first question. First question comes from Dan Odell, DODPSU. Penn State University, you think? PSU?
Possibly.
Penn State? I'm going to click on it and see here if he's actually a Penn. It doesn't. Oh, Buffalo Bills. So possibly. I don't know. It's an northeast type of thing. So he wants to know, how good is Stefanik in the field? Is that what's keeping him from starting in the middle infield with David Fletcher? What do you think, Nate?
Yes. Yes, I do think it's his defense. You and I are just looking at each other laughing. I do think it, especially him and Fletcher, that would just make the middle infield defense pretty subpar right there. Fletcher can handle shortstop, but it's really not something he should be handling on a daily basis. And Stefanik, if he's going to play, he's going to be up there. So it would be a subpar middle infield defense, and that's not how you win baseball games. So, yeah, Stefanik needs to get better defensively. He needs to figure out how to play other positions. I know he's hitting well in spring training. We've seen Jose Rojas swing it well in spring training and struggle in the big. So it's spring training, guys. Like, they see minor league guys, they see major league guys, and some guys hit, some guys don't. But yeah, I think Stefanik's going to need a DFA to really see some time in the bigs.
Yeah, I just think there are so many guys ahead of him. I want to see him. It's a fantastic story. I mean, there's just so many good things with Stefanik. But yeah, I think it's the defense that's kind of holding him back a little bit. The hitting's going to be there. He's going to get on base. He's probably actually going to hit for a little bit of power, more than David Fletcher would. He's going to hit. He's a better hitter than David Fletcher. I think he gets on base more than David Fletcher. But I think at the end of the day, the thing that separates him and David Fletcher, and this is going to be kind of weird, is the defense. I think David Fletcher is a phenomenal defender. I know the stats didn't say it too much, but when the stats do say it, you look at it in the past, not 2021. You look at 2020 and 2019. David Fletcher is a very good defender. So that's the one thing keeping Stefanik off the 40-man roster. I think Joe Madden said again today he doesn't think that Stefanik is going to make the team as well. So look for him in AAA. But again, fantastic story. I want to see Stefanik up as soon as possible. Like, I want to see him doing stuff. I hope that the defense gets better. I really, really do. So, fantastic question. Let's get on the next one. It comes from our friend of the show, Dominic Saldana, asks a lot of questions for us here. He wants to know, one free agent left you would sign. Can be a minor league free agent as well. I'll start it off. I'm going to go with the super simple one here. Chris Archer. I want to just see some depth. I don't care who it is. Like, I'd say Johnny Cueto too. Like, if they can find Johnny Cueto on a very team friendly deal, in a sense, a minor league deal, I am all for that. Any one of those guys, somebody just with some veteran presence that can help out these young guys, because I think the Angels are still going to have a very young pitching staff again with Jose Suarez, who's one of the youngest pitchers in baseball. Reed Detmers, if he's up there, very, very young as well. Shohei Ohtani, I think would probably – no, Shohei is not the oldest guy. You still have Noah Syndergaard, Michael Lorenzen. Yeah, but still, I mean, Shohei is one of your youngest pitchers, or one of your oldest pitchers in the rotation. You still got a pretty young rotation. I'd like to see a little bit more veteran presence in a sense. So who do you got?
Yeah, you're taking my guys. Chris Archer, for sure. I would love to see a Mike Fultonavich possibly or a Jose Urena. I think they're young enough where they've been around, they've done some veteran things, but also they're young enough where they would accept a minor league deal, and they would also sit in the minor leagues for a month or so if for some reason somebody gets hurt or somebody's not pitching well. Those are the type of guys that's like, hey, just give me a chance. I'll pitch well in AAA, and when somebody gets hurt or somebody doesn't perform, I'll step in and pitch well in the big league. So I love Fultonavich and Urena for that, but I think Archer's the guy.
And definitely don't like count out. The Angels did this with Tony Watson last year and Steve Cishek signing a 1-year major league deal after they got cut. So watch out for that here in the next couple of weeks. Watch out for some players getting cut by teams that signed some minor league deals, in a sense, and it could be very, very interesting to see what they do if they get maybe a starting pitcher I know Daniel Ponce de Leon, they already signed him, but somebody like that who has had success in the past. For sure, I could see that happening again, or even bolstering the bullpen too, because some guys are going to get let go that probably shouldn't, just like last year. So
Maybe not as many though this year because the extra roster spots.
that's true. That is very true. And speaking of the extra roster spots, I got to get the name of who asked this, but somebody asked us to predict the 28-man roster, and we're gonna try our best to do that right now. In fact, let me pull up who it was because actually, no, let's just get down to it right now.
We'll just kick the two catchers out of the way.
Yeah,
Stassi and Suzuki are going to make the squad. There's
Stassi
two.
Suzuki for sure. You go first base.
Walsh.
Walsh. Let's leave second base out.
Let's just say Fletcher makes a squad.
That's fine. Fletcher.
So there's 4, and then we'll leave the extra spot open. Rendon makes the squad 5.
5.
Upton, Marsh, Trout, Adele.
That's 8 right there. 9. 8.
9.
You got 9 right there. Let's go to the rotation now. You got Shohei Ohtani. You have Noah Syndergaard. That's 10. You go
11.
Michael Lorenzen. That's 11. Jose Suarez. That's 12. Sandoval. That's 13. Let's leave the last starting pitcher spot available for now. Let's go to the bullpen. You got Raisel Iglesias. That's 13.
14.
Number 14. Is that 14
Yeah.
for Iglesias?
Yes.
Sorry, I suck
14.
at counting. Horrendously bad at counting. 14 Iglesias, 15 Loop, 16 Archie Bradley.
Tepera's 17.
Tepera's 17. Let's just throw out
Myers and Warren.
18. Yeah, let's go Warren at 19.
19.
19. So we have
and then
9
I'm
spots
thinking left. I'm thinking so we're at 19, right? So we got 9 spots. I'm gonna say Jaime Barria makes the squad because he has to.
That's 20. That's a bullpen spot. 20.
Yes, I think Detmers makes the squad. He's pitched well.
That's your last starter there. Yep. That's 21.
So, 21.
Shortstop's Tyler Wade, right? I'm thinking Tyler Wade's making the team, right?
I'm gonna say Duffy makes the squad.
Duffy as well, yes, as a nice platoon guy. That's 22.
Yeah, so 22 right there.
22.
I think Taylor Ward is going to make the squad.
23. I like Taylor Ward as well there. Dude, this is where things are going to get tough. So we need a shortstop. You need a shortstop. So Luis Renifo.
Didn't we say Tyler Wade?
Let's go Tyler Wade. I didn't put him on our list. That's
okay.
24. 24 okay. Tyler Wade.
I think Jack Mayfield's going to make the team because if not, he gets DFA'd. And if we were going to DFA him, we would have done that already.
25. I think Jansen Junk in the bullpen, or Jansen Junk is that swing man type of guy. That's a tough one.
Did we throw Warren or Myers in?
Yeah, we threw both. Those guys have already been in. This is where things really, really get interesting. I'm looking at the 40-man right now. Luis Renifo's got to make it, I think. I think he makes it. And that's 25 there, so we have 3 more spots available. And I would assume they go a little bit more bullpen heavy. Though here's the thing with this, and this is something that's been brought up. You could go a 5-man rotation for the first 3 weeks.
You could.
By the way, you could leave Detmers down in AAA, hypothetically, if you wanted to, or you put him in the bullpen to start the season off. I'd put him in AAA just to let him get some lengthwise, get him up to 90, 100 pitches down in AAA. No matter what he does, I mean, he can give up. I mean, granted, I mean, if he's throwing 50 pitches an inning because the ball's flying out of the park. So that's an option there. But we're at 25 right now.
I think you're looking at Wants and Quijada making it.
Yes, let's go
That would
20.
get you 20. That would get you 27. So you got one spot left. You're looking at Rengifo because we put Mayfield on there. So you're looking at Rengifo, Velasquez, and Rojas. I think are the last three spots.
I agree with you there on that. And
I think Rengifo wins it just because he has been there and he's done that.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement.
He's been with the Angels. I think Rojas doesn't make it, unfortunately, and I don't think Velasquez makes it either. So that would be my 28.
Do they have to DFA Velasquez? Or does he have options, you think? I literally don't know. Like, this is just like weird one there.
I believe we traded for him, so I believe he has another year of options.
Perfect. That's cool.
Not 100%. I'd have to double check that, but I think he has one more year of options.
Yeah. So there's 28 right there. I think 27, 28. I mean, you get the gist of it. It's going to be the Angels really, when you look at it, the Angels aren't too deep. I'd expect them to go and sign a guy or two like they did last year in the Tony Watson, Steve Cishek range. Again, like we just talked about with the question before. But again, that question came from James. That's Sir Party Animal. Thanks for that one, Big Dog.
Yes.
Making us think, man. God.
Yeah, sorry we were all over the place on that one, but I think we got the 28 out there.
Yeah, 27, 28. You get the gist of it. I think if we were at 27, which again you guys are going to be counting, we're at 27. I think that they go out and they sign somebody that got let go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just makes too much sense on that end. And I think you also, and this is going to be a weird one, I think you also got to consider Matt Dice behind the dish instead of Kurt Suzuki. Here, Suzuki's not even getting – this is weird, super weird. Kurt Suzuki's not even getting very much time right now.
You paid him over $1 million. You paid him over $1 million.
He's not – here's the thing. He's not even getting very much catching time right now, which is weird. Like, that's the thing
that's because he's old, and old guys don't need to catch in spring training.
That's fair. So, I don't know. There's 27.
1.7. He's staying.
That's fine. So, all right. Next question comes from Cheryl He. We kind of went over this before. I suck at names. I think that's what it is. It could also be Cherry L He. I don't know. I just enjoy saying these names. And again, I have such bad internet. I can see it happening already. This is going to be brutal. But all right. Question from Cheryl. Has Jeremiah Jackson, and this is kind of a off-topic one, has Jeremiah Jackson attempted at mind meld with Mike Stefanik taken hold, and is he now recognizing pitches better and striking out less? Does that make sense to you? I'm the worst at like just this whole thing. We need a new host, I think.
I think what they're saying is, has Jeremiah Jackson recovered from not being able to hit to being able to hit now? Is that correct?
That's the gist of it. I think it was more of like have you talked to Mike Stefanik very much in a sense and gotten that mindset, the Mike Stefanik mindset of just go out and hit the ball. And also, what was the second part of the question? Recognizing pitchers better, because they thought that Jeremiah Jackson was guessing a lot, I guess. But I mean, I'll take this one.
Yeah,
we'll see. We will see. I'm intrigued to see what Jeremiah Jackson does. I think he starts in high A there in Tri-City, and we'll just kind of go from there. I'm intrigued. I am. I want to see him get back to what he was in 2019 when he played in Orem and just absolutely hit the living bejeebers out of the ball. So we'll just have to wait and see. We really will. So good question there. Next question comes from Brian at Coyote with 2 E's 21. Talk about getting Ohtani a contract extension. Nate, this is a tough one for us. I'm letting you know, because
it really is.
We don't think, and Brian, we apologize for this. We don't think he should get an extension. It's not even like, and he's going to get an extension. He will because he's a great. Let's talk about the upside first before we say why we don't think he should get a contract extension.
Yeah.
He's very good with getting people in the door, and that's what Artie Moreno wants.
Yep.
In a sense, he's an Artie Moreno. He's perfectly with Artie Moreno. You know, like he's going to bring in. His jersey sales are going to be through the roof. He's going to bring in the big crowds. He's a star. You know, he's the face of Major League Baseball if you really want him to be. On the flip side, the injuries.
He pitches. He's a good pitcher. He hits
Oh
really
yeah,
well,
yeah.
and he's going to throw up some good numbers.
Yes.
But like you were talking about, a lot of injuries.
Scares the living bejeebers out of me.
He needs to be wrapped in bubble wrap when he is not hitting and when he is not pitching, because I remember last year, dude got hit in the dugout on a foul ball and missed a start.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah. That's Mo Vaughn S right there, by the way. That's the
Yeah,
most Angels thing that could happen. I think Mo Vaughn actually, like, his career went down the drain because he tripped on the steps at Angels Stadium. If I'm not, I
yeah,
could totally be wrong. I think that's the story though.
yeah. I think that was the story.
Tripped down
But
the
yeah,
steps
so
at Angels
so
Stadium.
he's got a bunch of injury concerns. I think it makes it hard for a true ace to want to come to Anaheim because they don't want to pitch 125 innings.
Mhm.
And the other thing that's always going to come up, if Mike Trout needs a day off for some reason, maybe he's not feeling 100%, do you DH him and take Shohei Ohtani out of the lineup, or do you DH Shohei Ohtani and take Mike Trout out of the lineup, the best player of this generation? So that's always going to be a topic of conversations when you have three of the top 15, 20 players in baseball. So it's going to be hard to find a DH out of those three if there's one for sure DH. But this contract extension is going to be very tough because you've never seen anything like this. I think personally, he's going to sit somewhere in that 7-year deal, and I think he's going to get around $25 million a year.
So let's play this out real quick. He's 28 right now, right? If the Angels give him a 7-year extension right now, he's 35 at the end of that. How many years do you get of him two-waying? He doesn't two-way past 32, right?
Probably not.
So you get 4 5 years. So your window to win a World Series is the next 4 to 5 years, basically. When Shohei Ohtani is both hitting and pitching, you have Mike Trout in his prime. You have Anthony Rendon in his prime. You have a pretty, you have some decent, good young talent in Joe Adele, Brandon Marsh, Patrick Sandoval, Jose Suarez, even. Um, working their way up. Reed Detmers, sorry if I forgot that name, but you have some
Detmers.
Detmers. I mean, you have some dude. You have something to build around. So if you extend him now to a 7 for 25 a year, um, Upton comes off the books next year. Upton, you basically are taking the money that Upton was making and put it towards. And I apologize. I see my connection's getting bad again. So if that's happening, my bad. But you put the money from Upton towards an Otani extension. I can see it. I get it.
You're looking at between 200 mil and 175 mil,
If
like
you're getting
between
him seven,
175 and 200 mil for 7 years.
if you're getting him 7 for 30 for 25 a year, I'm all for it. I don't think he's going to take that. Um, then again, Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani, so you just never know what he's willing to take. But it's tough for me. If you extend him this year to a 7-year contract, it's a little bit different in my opinion, I think. But man, anything past 32 for Shohei Ohtani scares the living bejeebers out of me. It really does. You're going to have you're going to have a Mike Trout that's going to be 37 getting paid $40 million a year at the end of Otani's contract. You're going
Anthony
to have
Rendon.
Anthony Rendon, a 30-plus-year-old Anthony Rendon making $30+ million. You're going to have a 35-year-old Shohei Ohtani making 30. I mean, that's. I mean, yes. I
It's
mean,
tough.
everything changes if the Angels win a World Series this year or next year or in the next 3 years. Everything changes, and it's like, Mike Trout got his, Shohei Ohtani got his, Anthony Rendon got his second. And it's okay. Everything, the world is okay. But what if the Angels don't? You're back in the same spot. So again, that whole argument stems off of Shohei Ohtani injuries, and it just it scares the living bejeebers out of me, unfortunately. And I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. So if they let him walk, I'm okay with that. We think the Angels should trade him, but that's for another podcast. So last question here. This one comes from Alex Mazzano. Who will be leading? That doesn't make any sense. Who will lead the pitchers in terms of strikeouts, innings pitched, and ERA? So let's go strikeouts first. Who do you got?
Noah Syndergaard.
I'll say Shohei Ohtani. Um, who will lead in innings pitched this year?
Patrick Sandoval.
I'm gonna say this is gonna kind of. I'm gonna say Shohei Ohtani again. Not wow. I am just taking this. This is a great answering by Jared. You're doing great, Jared. ERA.
I'm gonna stick with Thor. I think Thor's gonna throw us 150 innings, not as many, or he's gonna throw about 135 innings, not as many as Patrick Sandoval, his 155, 160 innings. Thor's gonna strike out a lot of guys, but I think he's also going to lead the team in ERA with an ERA around 2.9.
I'm gonna say if we're just going starters here, because I mean Raisel Iglesias
Yeah,
is gonna lead. Raisel is gonna lead. So I'm gonna
if
go.
used properly.
Yeah, if used properly, correct. I'm gonna say Jose Suarez. No, that's a real bad case scenario. If it was Jose Suarez leads the Angels in ERA, I'm gonna say Reed Detmers leads the Angels in ERA, and
That's fine.
he actually wins Rookie of the Year this year because I think
That's
he's still
fair.
rookie eligible.
That
So
is fair.
that's my bold prediction, I guess there. And Alex also wants to know what's a realistic goal for the Angels this season. Nate, you got a lot of shit for
Oh
your
yeah,
negativity, both
yeah,
on YouTube and some of our reviews that
yeah.
we got. So let's not be too negative here, please.
Realistic. The ceiling for this team is they play in a wild card game and they lose. That is the ceiling. That's the highest they get. I think. I think that is the highest they get is losing in the first round.
Negativity.
That's. I mean, that's a playoff team. How can you be upset about a playoff team? Um, they're not deep enough to win a World Series. But the floor, I think the floor is 500. I think you're looking at them being, 81 and 81. That's like hopefully the worst year the Angels could have is 81 and 81. But I want to hear your answer to this after giving me a hard time for my answer.
That's fine. The upside of this team is they stick around in July and they make a trade for a starting pitcher and they win 90 games. They get hot down the stretch after the All-Star break and they win 90 games for a wild card spot, by the way. So I don't disagree with the wild card spot. I think that though, like the West is wild. It really, really is this year. You look at it and it's like you really want to go down the West. It's like Houston. What's Houston? They're good, right? But they don't have Correa. They lost Correa. Everybody's a year older. Um, it's tough there. It's tough. The Mariners, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think sophomore slump there. I'm not buying the Mariners. Oakland, we don't know. Oakland is Oakland. Oakland can go out and win 98 games next year, and I'd be like, "Yep, that's Oakland for you," and they're going to lose in the first round. Um, and the Rangers, dude, new ballpark, good hitting. I mean, like their pitchers are going to pitch at home. I mean, would be surprised if Texas won
Are you
2 games.
are you buying Texas?
I'm not buying Texas yet, but I mean, you look at
Okay.
their ballpark. Their pitching is going to be okay at that ballpark for 82 games. You're going to be able to get through that pitching, and then the offense is going to rake wherever it is. I mean, just your 2-3 guys in Seager and Simeon are going to be pretty good. I mean,
And Garcia rakes too.
yeah. So I mean, it's the wild, wild west. But I think the upside is the Angels win 90 games, and that's a wild card spot. Unfortunately, probably the one wild card spot, but it's a wild card spot. And then the downside is, I mean, we've seen it the last 6 years. I don't have to go over it again. That is exactly what the Angels could also be, is a 75 win team again.
So,
Like
so you're giving me crap, and you
I'm, not,
picked the exact same
I'm giving,
thing.
I'm giving
Wow.
no. So
Wow.
you said that they were going to be out in the first round. I think the Angels are built for the playoffs. The Angels are absolutely built for the playoffs. You go
I
one,
think
two, three in the
it's
playoffs.
really hard for Shohei Ohtani to pitch on short rest in the playoffs, and that's going to be very, very hard when you only have Noah
Fine.
Syndergaard in the playoffs.
But
And Patrick Sandoval is, 25 years old, never seen a playoff game before in his life except for on television. So
again, if the Angels are
it's
making
going to be very tough.
if the Angels are making the playoffs, they're making a trade in July for a pitcher who knows who that pitcher is going to be. Nobody knew that Max Scherzer. I mean, Patrick Corbin could be that guy. I don't know. Like I know he's in Philly. I like Patrick Corbin. I really do. I don't know.
Washington. But yes,
No, Washington. Yeah,
Patrick Corbin is not the ace that the Angel fans are crying for
I
right now. So
agree. But you never
yeah,
know who's in.
at
You
least say,
never
at least
know.
say John Means.
I mean, I don't think John Means is that ace either. I think there's got to be who. I mean, somebody's got to be a
Better
free
than
agent next
Patrick
year on a bad
Corbin.
team, right? Someone's got to be a free agent. I don't. I haven't looked that far in depth yet, but I mean, okay. Exact same answer. Then I think the Angels are built for the playoffs, though. I think 1-2-3 for the Angels like matches up to any 1-2-3 in baseball if the Angels are healthy. It's plain and simple as that. I think that they match up very well to any team in the playoffs. The Angels hitting is going to hit. That's going to be the case. At the end of the day, it's going to be the Angels pitching, and I think 1-2-3 for the Angels matches up very well compared to a lot of other teams in the playoffs.
Sure,
that's fine. I think the Angels match up better than the Yankees in the playoffs. I think if the Angels and Yankees went toe to toe in the playoffs, the Angels would take
we
it.
get swept.
No, I don't think so. I really
We don't
don't.
have anyone. We don't have anyone to beat Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole beats us twice.
Absolutely not. I think Shohei Ohtani. I think the playoffs are a different beast, and I think a lot of Angels fans, and I think you as well, are forgetting that the playoffs are a different beast because Angels haven't been in the playoffs, so you don't watch playoffs very often. But
they
you
still
give
have Luis Severino coming back. They got guys that you don't even remember they have. They're going to be tough.
No, I know, but I think the Angels match up just as well as anybody else does in the playoffs. 1-2-3 for the Angels, plus whoever you want to go get in July, plus that disgusting offense that the Angels have. Again, I just think they're built for the playoffs. Average. I think that if the Angels make the playoffs, they're almost the favorites to win the World Series in a sense. And okay, that's fine,
right,
Nate.
This is it. This is it.
That's fine. So, Nate, you got any final thoughts? I'm not even kidding right now. I think you look at the Angels, look at them, look at their 1-2-3, and they're going to match up just as well as anybody else in the playoffs.
I do have a final thought.
That's fine, and I don't know how I feel about it.
My final thought is we might have broke Andrew Heaney. Not even the Dodgers can fix him. That is my final thought.
Spring training. Relax.
He might not make the roster.
They paid him $8 million. They almost have to put him in the roster. They almost have to let him pitch on opening day, and then you DFA him. I'm gonna let you know. You pay somebody $8 million. You have to let them play at least opening day. It's like
I hope we can only hope because that'll put the Dodgers in a hole early.
You paid him $8 million. He has to make the opening day roster unless he's hurt, which the Phantom IL could be a thing. So I have no final thoughts for you. I'm gonna go. I know you think this is hilarious, but seriously, you have to put him regardless of anything, you have to put him on. So I'm gonna go back to the exact same thing I said last Wednesday when we put it out. And sources, Nate, sources. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast or watching us here at Talking Halos, making us the best podcast out there. Almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, didn't think that would ever really be a thing, but it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this YouTube thing. I know you are too, except for you're both really ugly for YouTube. It's fine though. It really is. So guys, go subscribe to us wherever you're listening to us. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Timms. You can follow Nate at NateGreen34. And guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.